Welcome to Photos of the Past. We share history's most intriguing images. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. This photograph shows Jewish prisoners held in Nazi Germany's concentration camps. Dressed in striped uniforms, these individuals symbolize the inhumane living conditions and the brutality of the Nazi regime. This image serves as a reminder of the millions of lives that bore witness to one of the darkest periods in history. This photograph was taken during the military service of the famous rock and roll artist Elvis Presley. Joining the U.S. Army in 1958, Presley took a break from his music career to fulfill his duty. This image reflects a time when one of pop culture's biggest icons served as a regular soldier, maintaining his popularity among the public. This photograph shows a group of people being led to concentration camps during World War II. Walking on snow-covered tracks, these individuals are unaware of the horror that awaits them. Watched over by Nazi soldiers, this journey symbolizes the painful fate of millions of innocent lives. This photograph shows the striped uniform worn by prisoners in concentration camps during the Holocaust. Caught on barbed wire, the uniform symbolizes the horror and lives lost in these camps. The star marks the identity of Jewish prisoners, making this image a haunting reminder of one of the darkest chapters in human history. This photograph shows civilians struggling to survive amidst the destruction during World War II. With burning buildings and rising smoke in the background, women and children carry what belongings they can as they try to reach safety. This scene starkly illustrates the devastating impact of war on civilians and their fight for survival. This photo looks like something out of a science fiction movie, but it actually reflects the horrors of chemical warfare. The gas mask and protective clothing used during World War I were designed to protect against poisonous gas attacks. This image starkly reveals how humanity attempted to cope with the dark realities of war. This photograph shows one of history's most famous female aviators, Amelia Earhart. Posing in front of her aircraft, Earhart is known for her bravery and pioneering role in aviation. Disappearing during an attempt to circumnavigate the globe in 1937, Earhart remains one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. This photograph shows British Prime Minister Winston Churchill posing with the famous Thompson submachine gun. Taken during World War II, this image symbolizes Churchill's strong and resolute leadership. During the difficult days of the war, such images were used to boost public morale and demonstrate the determination of their leader. This photograph shows a dog used for military purposes during World War II. Carrying a rifle on its back, this dog was employed in tasks such as message delivery, tracking, and other missions during the war. This image highlights the role of animals in warfare and how humans utilized every resource in their struggle for survival. This photograph captures a bold and free-spirited woman. Wearing aviator goggles and leather gloves, she smokes a cigarette before a flight, symbolizing the strong and independent female figure of the mid-20th century. This image reflects both the passion for aviation and the confidence of women in that era. This photograph shows Adolf Hitler in his younger years, dressed in traditional Bavarian attire. Often portrayed as a powerful leader in Nazi propaganda, Hitler appears here as a more ordinary and youthful figure. The image is one of the rare glimpses of Hitler before he became one of the darkest figures in human history. This photograph was taken during World War II. The woman aiming her rifle at the sky is likely one of the volunteers receiving civil defense training. During that time, many women were trained to defend their countries and took on various roles. This image highlights the crucial roles women played during the war. This newspaper headline announces the assassination of the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. The event took place on November 22, 1963, in Dallas, Texas, leaving a deep scar in American history. The bold headline, "Kennedy is dead," captures the nation's shock and sorrow. This photo shows the famous Australian outlaw Ned Kelly in his armor. Kelly, who lived in the 19th century, is known for his homemade metal armor, which contributed to his legendary status. This image symbolizes Kelly's defiance of the law and the deep mark he left on Australian history. This photograph captures a protest against the Vietnam War. Young people have taken to the streets holding signs that read, "End the war in Vietnam now." Protests like these in the 1960s and 70s became a powerful symbol of the peace movement. resonating deeply within American society. This photograph was taken during the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Behind the innocent child, one of the twin towers is engulfed in flames, collapsing, while the child remains unaware of the unfolding tragedy. This image serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of innocence during one of history's most tragic moments. This photograph captures the harsh reality of child laborers in the mines. Dressed in worn-out clothes, their faces show a mixture of fatigue and forced maturity. During this era in America, child labor was widespread, and these young boys had to endure dangerous conditions to help support their families. This photograph was taken shortly after a bombing raid in London during World War II. The milkman continues his deliveries amidst the rubble, symbolizing the persistence of daily life. This image reflects the resilience and determination of the British people despite the hardships of war. This photograph shows a man playing chess in the midst of heavy snowfall. Despite the cold and harsh weather, he remains focused on the game, continuing the battle of wits with those around him. This scene symbolizes how human willpower and intellect can remain strong, even in the most challenging natural conditions. This photograph shows a group of people riding high-wheeled bicycles, which were popular in the late 19th century. Men and women, dressed in the fashion of the time, are cycling through the city. This scene reflects the social life of an era when bicycles were becoming a common mode of transportation. This photograph shows a small child's effort to ensure safety on the road with a sign attached to his bicycle. His mother is seen placing the sign which reads, "Please, Mr. Motorist, watch out for me." This image emphasizes the importance of road safety with a simple yet powerful message. This iconic photograph captures a scene from Charlie Chaplin's 1921 film The Kid, with Chaplin's famous tramp character and young Jackie Coogan playing the kid. This silent film offers a story that is both humorous and deeply touching. The film paints a poignant picture of poverty and friendship. This photograph captures a moment of horror from the Nazi concentration camps. The child, kneeling with his hands raised, wears a sign around his neck that reads, "I am a potato thief." This scene starkly illustrates the inhumane punishment methods used in the camps and the brutality of the Nazi regime. This photograph shows workers cleaning the windows of a high-rise building. They are precariously working high above without any safety equipment. This image starkly illustrates the neglect of workplace safety in the mid-20th century and the risks workers face daily. This amusing photograph captures an elderly woman seemingly squeezed into a small cabinet, creating a humorous moment. The smile on her face suggests she retains a sense of humor despite life's challenges. This image reminds us that age is just a number, and the spirit can remain young at heart. This vintage photograph shows a small baby being transported in a bicycle basket. On a cold day, the baby is bundled up warmly, with a glass screen protecting them from the wind, reflecting the practical solutions of that era. In times when technology was limited, such creative transport methods were a part of everyday family life. This colorized photograph shows a group of sailors defusing a naval mine during World War II. In a small boat, they carefully work to neutralize the mine, all while under great risk. This scene highlights the dangers of naval warfare and the bravery of the soldiers who face these perils. This photograph captures an unusual moment of a man in military uniform playing the violin atop a tank, likely taken during World War I. This scene symbolizes the meeting of the harsh realities of war with the human spirit expressed through art. The melody of the violin contrasts with the cold metal of the tank, representing a gentle defiance in the face of conflict.